Alright, well, this is my Ravenous Gorge guide, and it's aimed at both newbies and those that are familiar to dungeons like this. So, you probably already know this, but for those that don't, you can also use nostrums to decrease your cooldowns, Scrolls of Savagery, which you can buy off the trade broker for DPS increase, both runic panaceas, and of course, Charming Fire, so you don't have to charm all the time. Preferably bring your power and endurance and infused charms. Now here we're doing this with Spras, a warrior, a Zerker, myself as a warrior, and Mikai as mystic. Now there's going to be 3 items. To the right you see the herbs, to the far right corner you see the sacrifice, looks like rocks, and to the left you see the banana trees. Now in the beginning you want to destroy the monkeys, all 3 of them. So you guys can split up and do it. That'll spawn the BAM. And just keep in mind where each item is located. They all will spawn in the same location, but you'll see a message on the screen saying that the BAM's going to go to one of those 3, so just pay attention to that and rush to it. Now here it goes. So banana trees is next. Get to that fast, destroy both trees before he gets to it. If you don't, he's going to receive a really nasty buff which can potentially wipe you out if you're not prepared for his attacks. So DPS him hard while he's on the ground, of course. Now you'll see these orange circles. They might be a problem for your ranged users, like your healer or archers. To try to dodge those, you want to try to move toward the boss. It seems a little bit more safer than running away. Now the Mistrix spawns as a ghost. He'll target one of your guys, and you just want to dodge it just like everything else. The best way to do it is just keep an eye on him and wait for his eyes to shine red, and that will give you a sign about when he's going to attack you. Try to dodge him away from your DPS so that they don't all have to dodge, especially if you're the healer. And there's those orange circles again. So you saw Mikai, she moved in and avoided death. Now you also see flowers that spawn, and one will be red, the other will be blue. One gives HP, the other one gives power. And there's the message about the flowers. So Mikai took care of that for us and increased our power. So normally you just want to be using the power flower and not the HP one. You very rarely have to use that, and that's going to help you output more DPS on the boss. Otherwise this BAM can take a long time. And normally that would be the healer's job, not the DPS's job. But you guys work that out with your team. That's the best thing. Now there's another phase. It'll come up with a message saying that, say hello to my little friends. At this time the boss will spawn a bunch of monkeys, and these monkeys, they run in different directions, and if you kill the wrong ones you'll receive a ton of damage, and during that phase you cannot heal, so you want to be very careful with that. So the ones that you need to hit are the ones that are squeaking. You'll see a bit of that right now. Yeah, he's almost dead. Okay, and there you go. So there's the message. You guys can spread out like a triangle form, probably work best, and just target the ones that are squeaking. There's 3 of them. So there'll be 3 monkeys for each wave, and there's 3 waves. Now if you notice, I can't get the image here, but at the entrance before you actually go down to this area, in the platform where the doorway is at, just right up the hill right here, you can actually camp there during this phase, and you don't have to kill any of the monkeys. You just wait for all 3 phases to pass, or waves, and that works as well, but it's a little boring, so we just choose to take out the monkeys a little bit quicker. Now I tend to sometimes damage the herbs. If I notice him walking to the center, I try to hit the herbs before he even does that, so that I can weaken them, because you will notice that the herbs take a lot longer to damage. They have more HP, I guess. So if your DPS is kind of low and you see the herbs spawn, I would maybe shoot an AoE to it just to weaken it, just in case he chooses to go for the herbs. Of course, don't get too close to them, because he might choose to go for the banana trees and you'll be too far away. Alright, well, here's the lizard. The mechanics on this guy is pretty simple. He has a move that he does white breath, and I mean, it's kind of like a dragon move with the fire. It hurts, so stay away from it. He does the tail swing, which he's doing right now. It's a full 360, so be ready to dodge twice. He also does a move which I like to call he's looking for his cigarettes move. It's I'll show it to you in a bit, but right now he's gonna do the charge. Now one of your players is gonna have a purple ring. In this case, Mikai has that, and she ran behind a rock. When she does that, the boss will slam into it and get dazed and fall. Here you can DPS him. Now, a word of advice: when you get behind the rock, don't get too close to the rock, because as the rock breaks, it has a potential to kill you as well with the impact. Now here's that move I was talking about. Bam! It's an AoE, it hurts a lot. You can notice that he's going to do it when he looks to the left and the right, and then he slams. Okay? Now Nimistrix spawns again, but he has an extra skill after he dives. You'll see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He shoots those 4 things in a circle. So again, try to dodge him away from the DPS. Otherwise the DPS is also going to take the hits. And once you dodge him, get out of the way, because he'll do that move and that can kill you as well. So that's just an extra skill he uses on that dodge. The only other thing that this lizard does is a tail whip, which is a real quick move. And there it is. It's not that bad, but I suggest you dodge it, of course. And the only other thing is the fart move, which he just farts a bunch of purple stuff. Just get out of the way when he does it. Now he spawned some pods here. Now the pods, they don't do any damage to you, but they can be dangerous, because what they do is when the ring appears, they do a push, and they'll push you out from the center, and over time they do get bigger in radius. So what you want to do is not kill them all, because there's too many, but you do want to kill the ones that are nearby you where you're fighting. So try to wipe those out so they don't become annoying and push you into harm's way, or maybe out of your scythe or something. And you could just forget about the rest of them. Now those pods do have quite a bit of defense, so it takes a while to kill them if your DPS isn't the best. So maybe have your better DPS take it out real quick and then focus back on the boss. So it's best to move the boss to the edge of the arena. In most cases you can avoid a lot of these pods, but he does spawn them normally where he's at, so just be prepared for that. Other than that, it's just a tank and spank. Actually not really, just DPS him. In fact, all of these BAMs, you don't really need a tank. So it doesn't hurt, but you don't need them. So there's the purple ring again. He says to take cover, and I'm just grabbing the flower power there. But I believe it targeted Mikai again, so she's behind the rock, and we clean him up. Alright, so you just go up the path and climb. Some of the better players like climbing the balloons, or the bubbles. I'm not very good at platforming, so I just take the long way. Now the Mistrix is a pretty slow BAM in my opinion, but he hits probably the hardest. Now you'll be faced with three pylons here. On the left you'll see the healer, in the middle the shield or the tank, and the right is the sorcerer. You can summon NPCs depending on which ones you crack. You can only summon 2 at a time. Now I don't know if it's true, but a lot of players say that there's a big decrease in loot drop if you use the help. But to me it doesn't matter, so I just use them just for demonstration. Now I learned this today, that if you use the NPCs, don't go ahead and attack the boss right away. Wait for the NPCs to come up to the boss and hit them first. It'll prevent them from being stuck way in the back, just like that sorcerer you see. Alright, so just a word of advice. Now he does this move, says he's absorbing nature's energy, which he's doing now. You want to have your healer stun him or sleep him at this time, otherwise he's going to get a buff. If you're a warrior or somebody that has a stun, I suggest you also do it at the same time, just in case your healer's stun misses, which can happen quite often. Now you see this message, he cries out. He did it kind of fast, but an egg spawns, and what you want to do is you want to run toward the egg right away and DPS it. If you don't break it by the time Nimistrix gets to it, the egg will hatch a few baby birds, and they're annoying as heck, man. Really hard to kill. And further, they'll just I do believe they also can heal your the BAM. So just bad news all around. So just kill it. You know, the healer should help with it as well, especially if they can buff you right before it or something. So there he's doing it again. He's absorbing the energy. You want to try to stun him. It looks like the stun missed. Now he also does the dive, so he'll name who he's gonna dive against. Just stand there, wait for his eyes to shine red, and dodge. There's really only a couple more mechanics that he has. One of them is that he'll call a storm after a certain percentage of his HP is down, and it'll give you a message. What you want to do is look for these yellow circles that appear in the ground. Those are your safe zones. So he should be doing it now. There he goes. So those are yellow circles. Run to them as fast as you can, or you will die instantly. As soon as these clouds pass, you can start DPSing right away. So stay away from his beak. It's gonna hurt. And there he is again, absorbing energy. Now on all these 3 bosses, make sure that your healer, if you have one, uses either regression or plague at the beginning. This will help your DPS obviously, so you want to always try to make sure that they're using that. Now there's just one skill that this bird does, which is this right here, the wing flapping. Don't try to run away from that stuff, because it'll get you. It has a long range and it has a wide arc as well. So what I like to try to do is just run toward him and get behind him instead. That'll be the safest spot. And if you notice him, he'll also do that skill that he did in the previous boss, where he hovers and he shoots those 4 blue blasts in a circle. The only safe spot is in the center for me, because I'm already there, and I'll just DFA the rest, or death from above. But if you want, you can also run away from it, but he shoots pretty far, so be careful. And there he finally got stunned, and he's a goner. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not much to these bosses other than just taking time and trying to dodge everything, just like every other BAM. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, just post them at the bottom and I'll try to reply to them. And just for your information, I have done this with 2 healers as well, so that was actually pretty neat to do. So thanks Mikai and thanks Spross for helping out.